Good evening from the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your forecaster, Jeff Monk, looking at the planning outlook on the mountains over the coming week, concentrating particularly on the weekdays of next week. First of all, a summary of what's to come. Generally speaking, it's going to be a pretty windy week, even frequently windy in the valleys, on higher summits, ridges, even at times on quite low levels. There are going to be gales, sometimes storm force winds, particularly as we go through the day, moving northwards on Monday into Monday night, and still perhaps storm force winds on more northern summits running into the day on Tuesday. There's going to be frequent rain through the week, concentrated on western mountains. Driest conditions are going to be southwards across Wales, where across South and also East Wales there's going to be very little rain. Similarly, relatively dry over the Peak District. Just a few isobar charts really to show you now with the rainfall added on. On Monday we will have a very intense low indeed. Just sitting off Western Island by the looks of it, slight differences in position and in the different forecast models, but very windy across Ireland, and as the day goes on, those strong winds also affecting western mountains in Wales, running up later on in the day into Galloway, and then into the night into western Scotland. And it's here where we may well see storm force winds, very gusty, 50 to 70 miles an hour, and even over Wales and into Scotland during the day on Monday, because of, if you like, the profile of the atmosphere. The temperature doesn't drop much with height, almost as warm where it's dull on higher summits to what it is in the valleys. And when this happens, the air really doesn't like to go over summits. It tends to go through the passes and cols, and as it does, it breaks down into turbulence, and some of these ferocious gusts run downslope, sometimes reaching the valleys. So really, perhaps the isobars not unusually close together, but certainly giving very windy, very blustery, very gusty conditions indeed. There will be pockets of drizzly rain and extensive low cloud on mountains that face the sea to the south and southwest. So again, North Irish Sea coast, westernmost Wales, probably the western Brecon Beacons, and also up into the west coast of Scotland, up about as far as Skye or Westeros. These coastal areas having low cloud all day. Although, having said that, there may be periods in western Scotland where, with an easterly wind off the land, the low cloud actually dissolves away. Rain. There will be an area of rain, steady rain rather than heavy rain across northern Scotland, patches of drizzly rain elsewhere, although very little East Wales and down towards the Peak District. By Tuesday, that low, again very intense, just off northern Scotland, position slightly uncertain, but still storm force winds across the Scottish Highlands, moderating only very slowly during the day, and even down into England and Wales, a windy morning, gales perhaps as far south as the Lake District, slowly dropping through the day. However, across Wales, the wind may have dropped considerably, substantially dry England and Wales and probably southern Scotland, but in those strong winds, hit the Western Highlands. Here, showery rain nearly all day, so very wet underfoot here after a fairly considerable rainfall starting overnight. By the time we get to Wednesday, the next low coming in, the previous low, will have completely gone. So at some stage deteriorating after a generally dry start, just a few showers, cloud base dropping again. It's western mountains, North Irish Sea mountains, thinking of Galloway, Dumfries. These mountains deteriorating, persistent low cloud, gales coming in, upland gales coming in, and widespread rain. Again, a little bit of uncertainty in the precise timing, but I think the message for Wednesday is that it will go downhill, although the Pennines south of about Skipton and also east and perhaps South Wales having little, if any, rain all day. So here the deterioration much less pronounced and only happening late in the day. By Thursday, that rain pushing eastwards, followed by showers, freezing levels dropping to close to or just below higher summits in Scotland behind the rain, so colder as we go into the latter part of the week. I'm not going to show you a chart for Friday. It's very uncertain by then. It may well be that we have a further area of low pressure coming in, which into the weekend may take a track like this, but a minority of models actually take it very much further south, possibly as far south as southern England, but really uncertain. However, the message to take away is that there's going to be no change in the weather pattern, further weather systems coming in, bringing bands of persistent rain, followed by showery conditions, with the bulk of the showers falling on western mountains. And again, there are areas, or will be areas, of upland gales. If that low does take a southern track, it could just be that to the north of it, perhaps Wales, up into the Lake District, northern England, may just be a lull in the wind Friday night and Saturday. But really, I'd say the overall message is continued very changeable, quickly changing conditions on the mountains. So with that, I do hope that you will enjoy the mountains over the coming weeks. Some good weather to come, particularly Wales and eastern mountains elsewhere, but do be aware of the rapid changes to come